Hello. So I haven't uploaded in a while, and as per usual, there is a myriad of reasons for that, but the most tragically external one is that my GPU died. If you are in any way interested in or adjacent to someone who's interested in computers, you probably know that the situation with GPUs right now is pretty messed up. You can't get them. They're just not there. And when they are there, they are ridiculously expensive. Like, they're so overpriced, it makes me want to cry. So this is the perfect time, of course, for my GPU to die. And the thing is, my computer is really old. It's not just like the GPU died and I need to replace it. It's kind of pointless to replace one element in a 9-year-old computer. Like, I am shocked that the hard drive is still running. As I say that, it's probably dead. I hope not. But basically, I'm currently running my computer on integrated graphics because 9 years ago, for whatever reason, I decided to get an APU. And well, it's Intel that mostly have integrated graphics. Anyway, it's fascinating working with integrated graphics on a 9-year-old CPU. Like, it's fine. You can do most things that are just like text-based, but you really can't do much with like images, especially video. Like, I can kind of watch YouTube and it's giving me like a solid 12 FPS in 360p. It's fascinating. It's kind of funny. Everything is really robotic, but I can't really edit videos, and I can't stream. OBS doesn't even open. It just doesn't. It's like you don't have a graphics card. I actually don't know if I like change some stuff, it would open, but it doesn't matter. I don't think it's viable to stream this way, nor should I try. I don't think. So here's the thing. I've been trying to put a computer together, like to gather up parts and build a computer, but the GPU that I initially wanted, which is a 3060, just a 3060, not Ti. Let's not get optimistic there. Just a 3060, which I figured is kind of, okay. It is currently $1,200 where I live. Well, I say live. Yeah, pretty much nothing below that is available except for like a 1660 Ti, which is $800. $800 for a 1660 Ti. Are you fucking kidding me? There are no like 2060s, 2080s, nothing like that. There is one 2060, which sometimes I look at it and I'm like, maybe I should get it. Seemingly no one wants it. Not even the miners, who are the reason this has happened. Well, they're not the only reason, but they're a big reason why this is happening. But like, it's a gigabyte with WindForce cooling, which I don't really want. Like, I know it's silly when there are no GPUs. I'm just sitting there like, this gigabyte is not what I want. But a gigabyte card is what I had, and it has died on me twice. the fans never worked correctly. It just, there was always something wrong with it. It hated half the drivers that I tried to install. And like the newest drivers, they would just like crash. And I would have to uninstall them and get older drivers, which it would kind of like run on, but it would just kind of crash every once in a while. Like I would just get a black screen and then it would recover. And it was, every time it happened, it was super scary because I was like, is this the end? And one day it was. So I'm kind of wary about getting another Gigabyte card after that. I realize it's really very lottery-esque. You could get a crappy card from any manufacturer. You could get a great card from any manufacturer, but personal experience is something that makes you at the very least anxious, and getting something that you're constantly going to be scared of is probably not a great idea. But the fact that it's kind of available makes it even worse, because I'm sitting there like, get it. Just get it. There is a card available. Who the fuck are you to be picky right now? It's available and it's only $700. Actually, it's not. It's $800. It's like $850 right now. Fucking hell. Like it's more, I remember that it's more expensive than the 1660 Ti. The thing that I've realized the store is doing, there's really only 2 stores here that sell graphics cards. One of them doesn't really have much at all currently. They have a lot of like really expensive cards, like 3090s. They have that stuff because I don't think anyone is buying it. Not even the miners. But they're like upwards of $3,000. Like no one is touching that with a 10-foot pole at the moment. They don't have anything below like $1,200. The other store, what I've realized they're doing is they're putting up one card at a time. Someone buys it. They're putting up the same card again the next day, but it's like $40 more. And I've been watching this for a few weeks in horror, realizing that cards are getting more and more and more. The same card is getting more expensive each time they put it up. And they don't let, like, at least they're not letting people buy more than one. So like, at least miners can't just like buy up 10 of them. You buy one, the next day it's going to be available again, but it's going to be more expensive. And this way I've watched the 1660 Ti go from like $600 to $800, and it's horrifying. It's genuinely scary because at some point you look at all this and you realize computers are just for rich people now. Or at least gaming, I guess. Gaming is for rich people now. I guess there was always an element of like, you need a certain amount of money to be able to get like decent gear. But it wasn't this terrifying. Like realizing that you can't have $1,000 computer anymore because the cheapest card you can get is going to be $800. And that's not even a very good card. It's scary. Genuinely, I know I've already said that a bunch of times and I'm sorry, but it's scary. I realize that I can't build anything. And there's also another aspect to this. Even if I had $1,200 to spend on just the GPU, if we don't take into consideration that that was originally my whole budget. Like, with the budget of like $1,200, at some point you could build an okay gaming PC with an okay card, and that's what I was going for. Okay. I wasn't planning to get a fucking Threadripper with a 3090. I just wanted an okay PC. But I can't do that anymore because the cheapest card you can get is an okay card that costs your entire budget. But what I was gonna say is, even if I had that money, at a certain point, I don't want to spend that much on a card. Like, even if I had that much money to just blow, at a certain point, I don't want to buy it on principle because I feel like it sends the wrong message to the stores and to the manufacturers that, oh, so people will buy cards at 4 times the MSRP? Why don't we sell them at that price? At all times. I just hit this because I'm so angry. It's sad, okay? I'm sorry if I scared anybody with that noise. I scared myself. I'm sorry. I'm looking at pre-builds now. I have selected a pre-build that I think, if push comes to shove off the cliff, I'm probably going to get that pre-build. It has a 2060. It has an okay motherboard. It has a weak CPU cooler, but probably enough for the CPU that's in it. The thing that bothers me is that it's Intel. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not an AMD fangirl. Maybe a little. Well, I'm okay with Intel. Like, I've had Intel most of my life, and I'm okay with Intel. It's just not really ideal for my needs, for editing, for streaming. It's not great. I mean, I do a lot of multitasking stuff on the PC, so AMD would have been preferable. But there aren't really a lot of AMD based builds. I'm not sure why. There's really only like 3, I think. And they don't have very good cards in them. Like, they're not bad, but there's like Radeon cards, which, you know, I don't have anything against Radeon cards. It's just that they're not great for streaming. Like, the encoding in them isn't as good as NVENC, so it's not ideal. And again, I'm like, why am I being picky right now? Just fucking chill. Get whatever you can get and be happy that you have a functioning PC, hopefully. I was trying to explain this to my mother, who doesn't really care about computers. And she was like, what's the difference? Like, it's gonna work, you know, an Intel-based PC. Like, it's gonna work. I'm like, yeah, but it's like, say I need a truck because I transport 3 hay bales every day. And you're telling me, like, get a sedan. It's prettier, and it's cooler, and it's available. And I'm like, okay, but that means I'm gonna have to shove my 3 hay bales into the backseat of a sedan every day. That's how I feel about getting an Intel-based PC at the moment. It's like, it's gonna be fine, probably. It's just not ideal. Would have preferred a truck. I haven't had a pre-built ever. Well, I had a 386 when I was in high school. I'm that old. I had a 386. But since then, I've never really had a pre-built. I've always had custom PCs. I guess there's a first for everything. I could, I think, put together an okay PC with the really overpriced card that shows up at some point, because they do show up. It's not that there aren't any at all. They do show up. It's just that instead of the card being like 40 or 50% of my budget, it's going to be like 70, and everything else is going to be garbage. And at that point, what's even the point? Plus, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. It just makes me feel like crap paying 4 times the MSRP for a card. Just what the actual flying fuck is that? You know, I've never cared about miners before. Like, I've never had any feelings for miners. I just knew it was a thing, never really cared. Now I feel about them probably kind of the way that ice skaters feel about hockey players that train on the same ice. Worse, really, because the ice skaters and the hockey players essentially have the same claim to the ice, but these cards were made for gamers. But gamers never get to see them because the miners buy them all up. And sure, that's not the only issue. The issue is the silicone and the chips and the general lack of things right now. But the miners are certainly not helping the situation. I mean, if there was just the shortage, I feel like there wouldn't be a lot of cars, but they wouldn't cost this much. Like, it would be hard to find them, but they wouldn't cost this much because only gamers would be buying them. And that's not as dramatic of a market, let's say. And gamers probably wouldn't really be willing to pay this much for them if it was just about, like, waiting for the card. I don't know. But regardless, you know, miners aren't helping. I don't know what to do. I am so anxious, I can't sleep. Like, I can't sleep because I don't know what to do. Because I'm living under this realization that I might never have a PC again. Because I can't afford to have a PC anymore. It's not a thing you can have anymore unless you have a shit ton of money. So, I'm going to probably upload this video without editing it. It's gonna be old school, like my first video that was filmed on a tablet, and the image was flipped, and I didn't notice. It's still uploaded with the flipped image, and it's not edited at all. So it's gonna be like that, because that's the world we live in right now. Thank you for watching.